Okay, welcome back to Starting Point on Christmas morning. We are here for you and we are celebrating Christmas everywhere, not to mention in Ukraine, even though today has entered the 669th day of the Ukraine-Russia crisis over there. And it's winter.
It is winter in Ukraine.
Yes.
Thank you for mentioning that, Aisha. And talking about Ukraine, this is a Ukraine Day of Diplomacy. On December 21st, Ukrainian Embassy in Jakarta holds a gathering with diplomat and Indonesian media to celebrate of Ukraine diplomacy. Now here is the interview with Ukrainian Ambassador, His Excellency Vasyl Hamianin. Now TVRI World Reporter Alma Safitri has more. Go ahead, Alma.
On the illustrious day of Ukrainian diplomacy, the spotlight shines brightly on His Excellency Ambassador Vasyl Hamianin, a stalwart guardian of Ukraine's interests on the global stage. Join us as we explore the significance of Ambassador Hamianin's contributions and the pivotal role he plays in steering Ukraine through the currents of global diplomacy. Good afternoon.
Selamat sore.
Okay, thank you for your time today. So the first question is, can you please tell us what key diplomatic initiative have Your Excellency Ambassador Vasyl Hamianin been involved in recently to promote Ukraine's interests on the global stage?
Thank you very much. Well, for TVRI and for my media friends, it's anytime and literally all the time is yours. So I'm ready anytime to communicate with you. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. And well, to be frank, it's not myself that is safeguarding the interest of Ukraine in global scale, right? But it's a team of Ukrainian diplomats in all corners of the world, in all countries, in all continents. So this is these are the angels safeguarding the long borders of Ukraine that exist. And I'm very proud. I'm one of the, I'm not so good compared to them, but I'm one of the team. So, and my diplomats working here with me, together with me, they're doing great, amazing job that is really awesome, and it's important for us. So main initiatives, I would concentrate the attention of TVRI and of your audience on two. Perhaps on three if you like, but mainly two. Because these initiatives go far beyond the interest of Ukraine and far beyond the borders of Ukraine. One of them is Peace Formula, initiated by President Zelensky. Peace Formula is totally, entirely based on the UN Charter and the UN resolutions passed by the General Assembly and the decisions of Security Council. So Peace Formula originally is designed to bring peace back to Ukraine, to establish peace and to safeguard the peace in the future, to prevent any conflicts and wars. Now, through 1.5 years, it transformed into something, sort of universal mechanism, a universal instrument, global instrument that can really bring the peace to any corner of the world, if adapted a little bit. So we are talking about Africa, Asia, Middle East, Ukraine, Latin America, anywhere. And this is the huge value of this initiative. It can be slightly transformed, and it will fit, because the issues raised in this initiative refer to nuclear safety, food security, energy security, prisoners of war and the human treatment of the prisoners of war, the illegally deported persons and the return back to the country, and well, ecology, etc., etc. So this is crucial. So I would say that I would really appreciate if Indonesia finally takes the decision to join it, because it's universal, and to join means to contribute into the discussion, contribute into the open talks. And now it's 66 countries are already involved, and the next meeting will take place in Davos on 14th of January. So I do hope, and saya berdoa setiap hari, that Indonesia can participate in this officially, because there's like everyone in there, and Indonesia is one of the global players. Just I don't see the reasons you miss it, the opportunity. And second initiative, important to, oh, by the way, within the peace formula, one issue risen recently was the treatment of children. And it will refer to, again, to any country within the conflict, any territory within the conflict, saving children. Yeah. Second initiative calls grain from Ukraine. It's about the humanitarian initiative targeted at the countries who need the grains most of all. We now by the date, I think Ukrainian grain was delivered already free, like a humanitarian aid, to Yemen, to Somalia, to if I'm not mistaken, to Sudan, to Ethiopia, somewhere. But on the way is Kenya, Nigeria, and I think someone else. So this humanitarian initiative, again, it's under the auspices of the United Nations. It's United Nations Food Program and the coordinator of that. And the countries within this pool contribute to what extent they can to this humanitarian program. You can contribute, like Ukraine, by grains. You can contribute by wheat or by corn, by something. You can contribute by logistics, by the tools to deliver. Yeah, you can contribute by finance. It's okay. And I will be absolutely fantastically grateful to Indonesian government if the decision is taken to participate. Meanwhile, the last phone conversation between our presidents, President Zelensky and President Joko Widodo, took place few weeks ago, and my president invited President Joko Widodo to join this initiative. So I will be hoping that the decision will be made in recent days or weeks, maybe.
Okay, talking about Indonesia and Ukraine, can you share to us a little bit about how's Indonesia and Ukraine bilateral relations on 2023?
The relations with any country, between Ukraine and any country of the world, are definitely damaged by the war, by the Russian aggression, and by what happens now, because basically we're very limited in performing the contacts. Well, online, okay, but online is not necessarily the best way. Yeah, you cannot use it every time. So we are very limited in performing the visits. Definitely, the sphere of education is damaged because we cannot accept and receive foreign students. We can, but it's not so safe, not entirely safe. So, etc., etc. So, same with Indonesia. So, starting with political relations. So we are trying to explain, trying to let Indonesian government and Minister of Foreign Affairs, of course, as a part of the government, know what is going on in Ukraine and why it is so important for the world, for the sake of the peace, for the sake of the global peace, to have Indonesia as one of the peacemakers. That's very important for us, and not just for us. Yeah. So economically, of course, the turnover dropped to very small figures, and very unfortunately, we had a big amount of gandum, of wheat, been sold to Indonesia through last few years, but last year of course not. So last year and the 2022 they were very catastrophic in terms of this. So looking forward for establishing new businesses, looking forward to creating new projects in like IT sphere, for example. So we are doing a lot, but it takes time to reschedule and reshape, right, the system, the pyramid of our communication. Then of course educational sphere and cultural sphere are lying down absolutely, because no exchanges, no real communication, like people to people. So unfortunately, I must say that relations we are keeping on the high level the dialogue, but in terms of practical cooperation, the war has brought big damage to our practical relationship, practical cooperation, unfortunately. But I'm looking very confidently to the future, and the package of proposals I have in my hands now, I think it might be very attractive to Indonesian businesses and to the government as well, knowing you are very busy now and will be busy till October, right? So I think I will be like slowly presenting these initiatives, these projects, these programs to the newly elected parliament, to the business circles, etc. And then we'll wait and we'll wait for implementation.
So, can you share your role in addressing geopolitical challenges and representing Ukraine's stance on crucial international issues?
My role is not as big as my president's or prime minister or the minister of foreign affairs. I don't play any significant role in resolving or facing some challenges, right? So I have my challenges here in this region, for ASEAN and for Indonesia, of course. But in general, Ukraine's response to the world, to the global challenges is actually very simple. I would be answering in a very simple way. We stand on few principles and few values. It's like nilai-nilai and principle. Very clear and very simple. The humanity, the justice, and human rights, rule of law. That's it. So basically, whatever issue you face, whatever challenge you face, whatever issue you treat, you always come to make a final decision, what to do, or take any action according to these principles. That's how it works in today's world. If you start using double standards, so this country will not help because we think that, okay, like women and children can die there, no problem. And this country would help because we think that it shouldn't. This is a wrong attitude and wrong approach. We never take on that approach. So if you may know, we during the earthquake in Turkey, we sent a big brigade of rescuers, of highly qualified rescuers, to Turkey to help the people there, and we said humanitarian aid. And as I just mentioned, grain from Ukraine, we are helping the people in need. However, we do need help ourselves. Yeah, so this is how the world works. You are in need, and you still must help people because they might be even in more need than you. That's it. So that's how we treat the challenges, and that's how we treat processes going around the world.
So, Your Excellency, what notable events or negotiations have Your Excellency participated in to advance Ukraine's diplomatic agenda?
You mean bilateral? Or yeah, we had a pretty important. We had a commission, intergovernmental commission. And we had the meeting between our vice ministers who came here, and we have a few other delegations. But I repeat, we don't have major events, major bilateral events. So basically, the meetings arranged between my minister of foreign affairs and the Buretno, and between my president and President Joko Widodo, took place not in Jakarta, not in Indonesia. So that's why, I mean, I was not the direct participant of those processes. Last meeting between our presidents took place in Japan a month ago, in Hiroshima. So there was great meeting, great achievements, and I think that they came to very serious conclusions. But that was, I did not participate in that.
So my last question is, how do you collaborate with other diplomats and international organizations to strengthen Ukraine's position in the diplomatic arena?
Again, we are far away from Ukraine now, and this is the region that really like far away region, right? So what we're trying to do is build up the relationships, like strengthen the slightly damaged relations and cooperation between our countries. So yes, of course, I talk a lot, not just to my ambassadors in the region or my ambassadors in other regions in Asia, in Africa, in Europe, but of course I talk to my colleagues from the European Union, I talk to my colleagues from Japan, United States, etc. Because, well, it's normal practice when diplomats exchange views. It makes it much easier to understand the country you are working in Indonesia. Yeah? Not all are experts in Indonesia, right? In the history, in literature, in politics, not all. That's why I would definitely often cooperate with my colleagues, especially those who stayed there for a long time, or maybe like they stayed here for a second time, or they speak Bahasa, so perhaps they have some meetings that might be interesting to me. So yeah, we exchange information. It's a very normal, and it's exchange the views and exchange the opinions on this or that events, yeah, and outcomes. So now we are discussing the future elections. It's a very interesting topic, and I'm really very glad that your country has a democratic approach towards this, because the elections, while we don't know who will be elected, it's amazing. That's great. That means the democracy prevails and democracy rules. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency Vasyl Hamianin, for today's interview. And yeah, and that's all my interview with Ukrainian Ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Vasyl Hamianin, about Ukraine and global agenda, and also bilateral relations with other countries. Alma for TVRI World.